Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and a very warm welcome once again to CLMVT Forum 2016. I trust you had a great lunch. It's time to get back into business. And now it's time for the roundtable discussion on the topic, Unlocking CLMVT, Creating a Single Seamless Region. So this particular session will be focusing on cross-border trade and investment for a seamless CLMVT. I'd now like to introduce you to our moderator this afternoon, Dr. Denden Nikomborirach, Research Director of Thailand Development Research Institute, or TDI. A big round of applause, please, welcoming our moderator.
Good afternoon, His Excellencies, Her Excellencies, honorable guests. Today I have a very challenging task of managing a panel of eight very highest caliber person and with 4 ministers within 90 minutes. So I think I have to manage the time very strictly. I think this session is about trade, and as we all know, AEC has already kicked in as of the beginning of this year. But also, as we already know, there are still many barriers to trade between our 5 countries. So this session, I think the objective of this session is to identify the key barriers that are still existing in our trade today. And I think I'd like to start this session with the private sector, because they are the one who knows what are the barriers and how serious are the barriers. So I would like to invite the private sector first to identify the key issues that they think are the greatest barriers to trade between our countries. In that, I will first invite, because of limited time, I will start right away. I would like to invite first Dr. Tan Monivan. He's the Vice President of Mong Rethric Group from Cambodia. Please, Dr. Tan. Sorry, please, 10 minutes each, please, for all of you, so that we have enough time for everyone. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, my senior minister and minister and all distinguished guests this evening. And let I brief some of my company. And my name is Monivan from Mong Rethric Group. Currently, we are the company leading on agriculture in Cambodia. We have a palm oil plantation, and also we have a rubber plantation, and also we import and export. And also we have a private seaport as well. We talk about trade in Cambodia. I think we start from Cambodia is an agriculture country. And then mostly, I think CLMVT also, I think we are also an agricultural country. And then our experience in Cambodia, I think also we export rice and then rubber, also palm oil plantation. But sometimes I think Cambodia, I think that we have plenty of land. We can grow any agriculture. You can grow any crop. And then we have a chance you can catch up with the local people to grow agriculture with the land concession as well. Yeah. But sometimes I think also difficulty for us in my experience, I think the contract farming as well, yeah. Because in my visit into Vietnam, into Thailand, I think they have opportunity to organize the association and then also community. But Cambodia a little bit difficult for the organize the associate and then community, because I think we have a subjectly talk about the contract farming, but the important thing, we need support from the third party to provide the fund, to provide the loan for the SME as well. Yeah. Cambodia, if we look back to the history, Cambodia is an old country, but if we talk about digital economy, Cambodia is a very young country for digital economy. And that's why I think Cambodia also is a member of EAC. And so right now we just have the first event today, CLMVT, Cambodia we have to run to follow up, I think, the neighbor country. Because we know, I think Cambodia is a small country, and then everything we can produce also small quality, and so we have a lack of technology as well. Yeah. Even the GI, and this morning the Prime Minister also talked about GI in Cambodia. We have about almost 10 kinds of agricultural product to certify for GI. But actually, Cambodia, we have only 2 kinds of product we can certify for GI, on the sugar palm and then the paper, yeah. And then so we need more, to support from the government, or I think, especially I think, all the neighbor country, if they can provide technology or provide anything to support our GI in Cambodia. Yeah. And also the market linking. This morning also, I think Prime Minister Prayut also raised up about market linking in the among Asian member, or the same, I think, is CLMVT, market linking very important for Cambodia as well. I think in among 5 countries, CLMVT, my prosperity, I think, how we tend to linking the market, because I think Cambodia and also among CLMVT is we can join together the market, or can link the market together. We can be a power country for export agriculture product to overseas. Yeah. And this morning, so I think it is not go far away from the Prime Minister's talk this morning. I think the facility infrastructure very important at the border. That's why I think I am also is a member of Cambodia Thai Council. But I think CLMVT we have to try to open more gate between among the border and border, between countries and country. Yeah. And then we talk about the trade barrier as well. I think if we try to push, or try to improve more CLMVT in the future, I think we have to look back to try to negotiate with the poor country as well, like the Cambodia. I think it's small, and then we can export to the. We don't think we can export to overseas Europe as well. I think between among our members also, I think sometimes we have facing with the barrier and non-tariff barrier. That's why we come here today. I think we try to negotiate with the neighbor country to revise, I think, what we call like the fair, I think, trade between among countries, especially for the neighbor country as well. Yeah. And my recommendation, I think, we have many events with CLMVT, with CLMV, and then today we have CLMVT, We should set up the roadmap. It's a good roadmap and fair roadmap for the poor country, as mentioned by the Prime Minister this morning, Because I think sometimes for the poor country like Cambodia, if we don't set up the good roadmap and fair roadmap for CLMVT, I think Cambodia will still low. For export, I think agriculture as well, yeah. And also, to me, I think better if we set up the team, for infrastructure, or the team for the, we can say like the focal point for the ad hoc team to, I think they can negotiate and then set up the time frame, how to push CLMVT, and then also we can resolve all the problem between among our 5 countries. If we're facing some problem, or I think if we have any progress, I think we can share, by ad hoc team. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tan. If my correct is you mentioned a few issues that you think is your concern. The first one is about contract farming. And I think this is certainly a major issue among us, because we have investment cross countries, especially in agriculture.
Yep.
And I think in today, when you face a lot of non-tariff barriers in the food industry, and you need to control the quality of food that goes to Europe or the US, and contract farming is a very important solution to this whole supply chain to ensure quality. So I think how to develop contract farming is also very important. You mentioned loans to SME and geographical indicators, which will help with the value added of commodities. Also, you mentioned how we can establish links in infrastructure, hardware and software across bodies. And I think very important is you mentioned that there are a lot of non-tariff barriers remaining among ASEAN countries. And how can we have a forum in which we can discuss, try to minimize the NTBs, NTMs among us. I think this is a very important issue. So what kind of forum, what kind of mechanism we can develop to ensure that we have a platform to negotiate this. And finally, I think you proposed that we have an ad hoc team to discuss about the trade issues between CLMVT countries. And I think you proposed something like a troubleshooting unit, that if anybody face problems with cross-border trade, they can run to this one-stop office that can solve the problem. Okay, thank you very much. I would like to, I think these are very important issues. I'd like to move on to the second private sector. Ms. Poon Hyun Lit Dang, she's Vice President of Dow Hoeng Group, Lao PDR. Oh, I'm sorry. So it's Kambele. So, okay, sorry, she's not here. So I'd like to skip to the third private sector. Mr. Duan Dui Quang, he's the Vice President of Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Please.
So thank you very much, Madam Chair and ministers, deputy ministers, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Quang. I'm from the Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the largest organization representing the Vietnamese business community in the country. And I'm very happy to hear as the first forum, CLMV plus the Thailand forum. So I'm very happy to be here with you and discuss how we can move forward in terms of we can have a shared prosperity in time to come. So coming back to the question Madam Chair raised, that how, what kind of barriers we are facing now, like businesses in Vietnam, for example, or in the region in general. So I think that in the region, our characteristics is that, we share a lot of similarities in terms of doing business. We share a lot of similar products. I take example of Thailand and Vietnam. Thailand is the first exporter of rice, and Vietnam is second exporter of rice as well. So how we can cooperate each to other so that we can create some kind of complementary areas of cooperation, how we cooperate to raise the competitiveness of the product, rice, in terms of to satisfy the local market, regional market, and also international market beside region. So I think that the first obstacle or barrier is that how we can identify the kind of priorities we can cooperate, or we can have the kind of complementary areas of cooperation. So this is the point. So I think that we have to analyze what we are strong in, or where we have weaknesses, and then opportunities or challenges, what kind of things we have, so that we can move on. And also we have to find out where we are capable in particular countries or businesses in areas we are competitive the most, so that we can share our cooperation and make things better. And second thing is that, talking about the kind of business environment, because I'm involving in the ASEAN BAC Business Advisory Council, approved by the government, ASEAN government, Every year we report to the leaders of ASEAN about the business environment in ASEAN. And as you may know that, one of barriers we reported in the report is that, is financing, because the characteristics for our businesses in the region is that most of us, we are small and medium-sized enterprises. So financing is the key. Without financing, it is very difficult for us to move on. So financing is the biggest obstacle for SME in ASEAN to move on. So particularly in the CMLV region. So I think the financing, and also support from the government, in terms of facilitate the movement of goods and business people moving around the region. Cross-border, we can talk not only land, but talk only about the air, and also water or sea and things like that, how we can move around the kind of our products, and also our people, how can move around. So also in the ASEAN BAC Advisory Council, we submitted to ASEAN leaders, a kind of thing we call ASEAN travel card, But nowadays, you are waiting for us. But it's also other things. And the last thing is that, between businesses in the region, in Laos, in Cambodia, in Myanmar, and Vietnam, and Thailand, how we can cooperate and create some kind of mechanism to work together, you know. I think that we share one common thing. In the region is very important, is the Mekong River. So in my point of view, in my opinion, if possible, maybe you can cooperate, establish a kind of Mekong River business council to create a mechanism for our businesses in region to work together, and like a platform, and like the venue or umbrella for all businesses to work together, not only big businesses, but also for small and medium-sized businesses. So by that mechanism, so every year we can cooperate to maybe organize this kind of forum, you know. Today we have first forum, maybe next year we can cooperate in this regard. And we can put together all our businesses and maybe discuss about what kind of challenges, what kind of opportunities we are facing, and move on. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I think you put a lot of emphasis on businesses working together in this region, and I think you spell out that in CLMVT we have many products that are common as exports, such as rice, and because we have similar products, there are room for cooperation in terms of to market those products or improve the efficiency of the production of the technology used to produce the product. So I think you proposed the view that instead of seeing each country seeing each other as competitors rather than as cooperation of fellow businessmen that we can share our knowledge, so we can together improve the productivity of our region as a whole rather as an individual country. And also I hear this once again is SME financing. I think your speaker before you also give importance to access to SME financing. And I think this is an area that many countries, I think we can share, because every country has their own system of how they want to finance SME, and it involves a lot of institutions, and it also involves a lot of trial and errors in how you design the appropriate system of financing SME is also very challenging. And also you mentioned you give importance to the flow of people across border, which is what you propose is the ASEAN travel card, much like the APEC travel card, I suppose. I think we have the ASEAN lane, right? I never use it, but anyway, it's there because sometimes it's so long. Anyway, I guess this is a facilitation, and also finally you propose that we should have a forum where CLMVT businesses can get together and identify areas that they can cooperate and share their knowledge. Okay, thank you very much. Let me move on to the third private sector is Mr. Chanit Chanchainarong. He's Senior Executive Vice President of Business Development from the Central Group and Chairman of Thai Cambodia Business Council. The floor is yours, Mr. Chanit.
Thank you, Ajahn Din Kap. Your Excellency, I think my minister and all our CLMVT ministers, I would like to just wear a couple of hats when I'm speaking. First, I would like to wear my former job. I used to work at the Stock Exchange of Thailand for 10 years. During that time, I wear my CLMV hat all the time. I was asked to travel to Laos, to Cambodia, to Vietnam and Myanmar to help setting up the exchange. The stock exchange in Vietnam, for example, HOSE got started 17, 18 years ago. That was before my time, and some of the working system, all the software were working software that come out of Thailand. I had good time working with our friends in Hanoi Exchange when they were setting up. Of course, with Laos Exchange. And so I'm coming from the funding and from the connectivity of the capital market and the financial market point of view. It had already been established for the past years. We are now seeing a government of Laos coming to raise government bond in Thailand, whether it's in US dollars or in baht. Some of the companies in Vietnam that are Thai-owned are actually coming to the Thai exchange to raise funds for their expansion in other countries. So it's criss and cross. So the actual mechanism has already been there. And I'm thankful for all the governments, regulators within these regions for all this connectivity that they already have established. The banking system is, on one hand, it's already been there. Every country banking systems are open and connected to one another, which allows businessmen to be able to work closely and investment across one another. My second hats come from the Chamber of Commerce. I'm the director of the Thai Chamber of Commerce, and I also wear the hat of the Cambodia Business Council chairman, which I have to thank my fellows, my counterparts from Cambodia, especially the Cambodia Chamber of Commerce, the Net Ogya Kitmeng and his team, who has been very helpful in working together. And of course, our Commerce Ministry in Cambodia, Your Excellency Pan Sorasak, and the previous minister, who has been very helpful in getting the businessmen from both sides to work together. Now, this one I can be more specific on the issues that Dr. Denden was asking. We have gone through a couple of meetings, but I only share a few of it because some of them still work in progress for our minister to do. But we have gone through in discussion of detail of what needs to be done to improve the trade. Why? Because our two prime ministers had our joint cabinet meeting end of last year, and they agreed that they want to triple the trades between the Cambodia and Thai in the next 5 years, from 5 billion to 15 billion US. So the commitment is there. The private sectors are working together to increase both trade and investment, not only just trade. So last March, I think the group of businessmen from Cambodia, about 70 or 80, came over for our joint business council meeting. We went through in details on what actually needs to be done to improve cross-border trade, to improve improvement. For example, how can we allow passenger cars to travel cross-border freely, just like what our friends from Vientiane come over to Udon, and our friends from Udon go over to Vientiane freely. How is that possible? We would like to see that personal car coming back and forth between the borders. How do we help facilitate the export of agriculture? We talk about that issue. And we talk about how to make life at the border much easier, whether a single form, especially even customs, helping passengers' car to travel from both sides. Even in Laos, it still takes few hours during weekend to come across from Vientiane to Udon. So those are the kind of in details that businessmen from both sides already been talking. There are others like extension of border gates time. Is it possible to extend the border gates time between few borders? Don't forget there are many provinces who have connected borders, and we have the main border and we have the temporary borders. How can we extend the border gates time? So this is on the border side. But then on the investment side, which is another difference, because we have been very helpful from the Thai-Cambodian Business Council hat to have the understanding from their BOI equivalent or the CDC in helping our Thai businessmen to go over and invest. Now, the reason I use this as example, because this has been the working model we have been doing for the past 2 years. Now, my joke to my fellow Cambodian businessmen always say that at the beginning when I was asked to do this, I had very difficulty. The question is always asked, why Cambodia? I'm glad 2.5 years later, the question is now how Cambodia? It's no longer why, it's how. So this is one working model we have been doing. And of course, my third hat, which is with the Central Group, which I just joined for the last month. I mean, this is part of the government, not only in the Central Group, every businessman. During the time I was working at the Stock Exchange of Thailand, our main theme was to diversify and to grow. You can't just grow, you have to grow in every country. We find partnership, we grow, whether it's Myanmar, whether it's Laos. You look at some of the Thai businessmen who go over to Laos to do many of the energy projects. Of course, in Cambodia, there's a lot of our Thai businessmen who went over to do partnership, same as in Vietnam and same as in Myanmar. So I think the restriction is, of course, this is our friends, they're all our neighbors, and there's no better person to deal with than going with the CLMV. Thank you, Kap.
Thank you very much, Khun Chanit. You have many hats, and so you have many messages. I think Khun Chanit gives us a lot of good news such as the financial connectivity, which in your opinion has gone far and is well developed, with especially the stock market. And your second hat is the Thai-Cambodian Chamber of Commerce. And I think your example shows to us that there are much can be done with the Joint Chamber of Commerce. The question that I asked you today has already been addressed in the Thai-Cambodian Chamber of Commerce. So that is a forum which we can work together, the Joint Chamber of Commerce. And for the example of barriers that you identified is the crossing border of passenger cars, the border trade. I very much appreciate border trade because I also work with Thai regional chambers of commerce. And every region I went is the same problem. Customs, customs, and customs is the different time and also the heavy congestion within the area because of a very limited. And of course, the single, the one stop, the single window, which is every businessman will ask for that, the single window, which is, we're still waiting. And the third one is when you mentioned about the central group, it's about the cross-border investment that already happened, that there is already much investment between our countries. Okay, thank you very much. So now I think we have quite a few lists of problems for the ministers to help solve. So now it's the forum for the ministers to help us solve these problems that have been identified by the private sector. Let me start with His Excellency, Mr. Pan Sorasak, Minister of Commerce from Cambodia. The floor is yours.
Excellency. You tell that you have 4 ministers from different countries, but I think that here is 5 one. Minister Champrasit was about 20 years a Minister of Commerce of Cambodia, the predecessor of Minister Sanporachak, a very experienced one. So I think that will have a very valuable idea about the question you are talking about. No, it's after that, because she miss you.
Sir, it's up to you too.
Yeah, just I agree with Excellency Tui because of Excellency Champrasit used to be my boss, and he's been teaching me a lot, and I learn a lot from him. So, but as being a Minister of Commerce now, I listen very carefully what the private sector has mentioned about, and I have hope. I have hope that the AEC, the ASEAN Economic Communities, that has the framework to resolve all of those things, should be in place. It's all there, but we need to implement it. We need to work on it. This AEC here is bringing prosperity to the members. You mentioned about the creation of single windows and single market and production base. And that would increase the competitiveness, promoting equitable economic development, and further integrate ASEAN with the global economy. Well, we need to implement this AEC here under the framework, under common platform of competitiveness. But we need, like I said, political will to do this for each countries. Political will is the key of the success of AEC. Thereby, of course, help the private sectors. Of course, there are some challenges that remains before us and the border and beyond the border. In particular, completing those changes to domestic regulations and laws and institutional changes requires to fully comply with our commitment in ASEAN, GMS, and WTOs. As I mentioned, that those changes are you need to remove unnecessary non-tariff barriers that our private sector mentioned about, streamlining
harmonizing and simplifying procedures for the creation of national single windows. Of course, the full implementations of Trade Facilitation Agreement needs to be done, and the integration of ICT into public services, and border agencies, corporations, just to name a few. As we listened to the ambassador, Japanese ambassador during lunchtime, he was talking about the trip that took about 40 hours from Hanoi to Bangkok, but 10 hours just to do paperwork. So you can see that the non-tariff barriers needs to be simplified and harmonized. Of course, our CLMV countries are located in the economic centers of center of gravities of ASEAN, which combine of 235 million. I'm really sure that we can take rapid growth in ASEAN and the rest of Asia, and we are remaining still fully engaged with the rest of the world economy because of we all are members of ASEAN, ASEAN plus FTAs, GMS and WTOs. I would like to give some suggestions what need to be done for our common competitiveness. We need to, first of all, review the existing legal and institutional frameworks in our countries and identify features that are unfavorable to business and investment climate, and which might be changed or removed altogether. Addressing barriers to trade and investment or gaps in policies and the border and beyond the borders. We need to pay special attention on SMEs development through establishing a digital economy, promoting e-commerce, promoting of young and new entrepreneurs of CLMVT, co-signing the agreement on avoidance on cross-border paperless trade facilitations under UNESCAP arrangement, signing of agreement on avoidance of double taxations, improving infrastructure connectivity, implementing the agreement of exchange of traffic right, like my colleagues mentioned about, and the cross-border transport agreement of GMS, facilitations of goods in transit, and implementation of ASEAN single windows or establishing CLMVT single windows. Facilitation of sub-regional change will provide CLMVT stronger production competitiveness and creation of favorable business and investments climate, including a freer flow of capital and labor. This is go along the line of AEC spirits and framework. Just want to mention that we had, yesterday we had a bilateral talk with Excellency Apiradi about how to push, how to make the freer flow of our cross-border transports, and hopefully that we can come up with some trade facilitation agreement. And we have identified also our focal points that we can work together. And as you mentioned, that this is going to be a point to report during the second joint Prime Minister's Council meetings, the two Prime Minister's Council meetings. So we shall see more of improvement and a report at the second joint Prime Minister's Council meetings at the end of this year. So with this, I'll just wait, and I hope that you agree. Thank you.
Thank you. Basically, what you're saying is that all the issues that were raised already have a platform in which we can negotiate under the AEC, but that what is required is still political will to implement. And I know because I also study AEC, I know we have many working groups and in coverage of many areas that cover NTBs and NTMs, and we still have many MRAs to sign, MOUs that we haven't done. So I guess this is something that we can draw on. But I think your message is also each country also have to conduct their own review of their own laws and institutions unilaterally, because the world is changing very fast and many laws and institutions are already outdated. And that is an issue of each country that has to look inside their house and do a housekeeping, cleaning of their own house as well as working together. And again, you mentioned the importance of SME developments of e-commerce, and double taxation is a key issues, and exchange of traffic rights that has been mentioned, and the CLMVT single windows. I think you've added on top of the private sector even more additional problems for your colleagues to solve. Okay, how you are to do it. Thank you very much. Would you like to add at this point? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. If not, then I would like to move on to the next speaker is His Excellency Mr. Somchit Intamit. He's Deputy Minister of Industry and Commerce from the Lao PDR. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. Indeed, try also to follow very closely to our private sectors, what kind of point that they like to raise. To my understanding, in many points, I support the initiative of our private sectors that they raise, like us, how that we should work closely on common product, or how that we can further strengthen and support the contract farming, or to improve the CBT and single windows. To my point of view, the government of the Lao PDR, indeed there is the new cabinet just 2 months ago. I think we have follow the same policies, especially on the regional economic integration, is still also in the priority of the government, and also from our Ministry of Industry and Commerce. I think it's about the 3 missions, we still follow the things there, especially on the trade facilitations. We do have also the trade facilitation strategy. Linking with that point, I like to raise on common, on general point, in 10 points, I think, that we should closely working together. I think it's the continuities of the meeting to create more confidence, to create more cooperation, to know each other's more and review the mechanism what we have ongoing. I think indeed in our sub-region CLMVT or ECMEC or GMS, I think all the mechanism is already there. Our colleague from Chamber of Commerce of Vietnam mentioned set up a special council. We have indeed also ECMEC Business Council or what else. I support that they meet and in many other fora or what else there, or something should be more regularly and let's say more tangible. The first point. The second point I like to see is connectivity, especially Laos. We are landlocked. I think connectivity should go along with also development of hard and software infrastructures. The road in Laos, when we come to join ASEAN community, the road can carry out how many 50 tons. I think the road in Laos cannot be followed like that, especially the mountainous area. I think we should also how to see that all the partners have common interest and benefit. Let's say to have some also benefit together. And the third point, I think, when we discuss on trade, we should go along with investment. I think if no job creations, and how that we can buy the product from Thailand, or from Vietnam, or from another our neighboring country. So far, with the trade deficit, what we have $2 billion with Thailand, our export product is only 400 million. And 1.6 billion is we imported from Thailand. How that we can get Thai baht to pay your product? You see how to see that job creation and trade should go along together. With that aspect also, I like to see that when we see on investment, AEC, single market, one production space, how that we can see improve the supply, also the value chain, the supply chain also in our team. That point I like also to raise, especially on our private sectors. You should work very closely to each others, and then ask us what kind of things that the government need to be more open or more provide the facilities to that point. The fourth point I like to mention, we commerce or trade peoples made very often, but we don't link with the finance, the customs peoples, with the agricultures who put the regulation on SPS or what else there. I think they are sleepy there, and we discuss how we improve our CBTA. In our country, Transport Ministry is in charge of CBTA. You see, single inspection is the customs peoples. But we, the trade people, we discuss and try to facilitate, but they have to solve, and how to set up also linkages between at the country level and also at our CLMTV level also about different line agency, different players to join. The fifth point I raised already on the regional value chains, that is the role of the business sectors need to really improve the cooperations. The sixth point I see, when we work closely in our regions, we should think on mutual benefit. We see the difficulties sometimes. Thailand and Vietnam work very closely together, and then you just travel by Laos. You see something is if you can ask local people to be involved, then the spirit of cooperation will be more improved, and the deepening of cooperation will be also strengthened. This is the point also. Don't let someone behind, like as Thai Prime Minister mentioned this morning. So far, we see on many NTB, TBT, they still occurred in AEC, in our CLMVT. I think we should also introduce how to bring tourism along with the 3-point trade, investment, and tourism together. We understand maybe when we say on tourism, it means support local economy. But sometimes many people bring everything with them, like as they go on adventures to Laos. I think maybe you just try local food, local made product. I think it will be also create an opportunity for them to have more income generations. The 8th point, I think, is information sharing. It's a very important point. So far, right now, we growing, like as Vietnam say, same product, rice, rubbers, manioc, tapioca, maize corn, all those products sometimes we face the same difficulties, and then every country try to protect the domestic one, and that didn't open for us. When you open, maybe just very late, and then the country lack of technology, how to do with the post-harvesting technology. We don't have anything that one is create almost the cost to us. That's why an imbalance creates some problem. The 9th point is human resource development is very important one for us also to support our peoples and in order to create more free movement of labor. This thing is also how that we can strengthen and support each other on human resource development. And the last point, I'm very happy also that we should bring now all what we agreed already in many fora and many mechanisms, make it happen. I think it's very important one, and support the word of our Japanese ambassador if he's still there on things regionally. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I think you reconfirm many of the former speakers before you that we already have a lot of forum, and one important thing is the implementation. But I think you raised some new issues. I think it's the imbalance of the developments in this region, and that is issue to be concerned. And you mentioned that in fact our economies are interdependent. Trade are interdependent. If the income of one country is not growing, then it's hard to trade with another. And that you think that are many areas in which we can improve the income of our neighbor countries so that there is less gap, such as the sharing of information, especially when we have a lot of common commodities or common agricultural products that we can share our technology. We can share our tourism, so instead of amazing Thailand can be amazing ASEAN, something that 10-year itinerary, you know, how we connect, promote ASEAN as a region. And I think another issue you raised is that the projects that are implemented in ASEAN is very important to ensure that all members, all parties benefit from the particular project. With mutual benefits, it's easier to implement the project. And another issue that was raised besides imbalanced trade and income is, I think you mentioned that when we discuss in this forum, we mentioned a lot about NTB, non-tariff barriers. Then it's the people who are negotiating or discussing, but it's the people who are upstream, such as the Ministry of Agriculture, that are making a lot of rules on SPS, on standards. And I think your message is that how to ensure that along the supply chain, from upstream to downstream, and that they are well connected so that they know what kind of barriers is problematic. So because the problem has to be solved at the very upstream level and they're not in the forum of negotiation. And I think this is a key issue because I also study a lot of NTBs, and today now when it comes to food, in the US and the EU now, it's farm to fork. So regulation starts from the farm and it goes all the way to fork. So if you cannot regulate from farm to fork, you're in trouble. And I think this is issue. How do we integrate all the institutions regulatory from the very top of the supply chain to the very bottom of the supply chain? I think this is a big challenge for all of us. Okay, let me proceed to the next speaker. It's His Excellency Mr. Kyaw Win. He's Minister of Planning and Finance from Myanmar. His Excellency, there is your... Okay, you prefer to talk in the next section? Okay. If in that case, I will proceed to His Excellency Mr. Yuan Kham Tu, Deputy Minister of Industry and Trade from Vietnam. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Moderator, Excellencies, Ministers, and distinguished guests. I think that all our 5 countries are a member of different mechanisms already existing in our region. In some mechanism, all our 5 countries is a participant. In some, most of us. But today we are gathered together as 5 countries as a sub-regions. I think our idea is to find the really particular innovative way for us to leap forward in our development. So that's why I think that you are just brainstorming about that today. So let me tell you about some rough idea related to that. From your questions, I feel you put 3 questions. I allocate 4 issues you are interested in. First, it's about connectivity among our countries. The second one is about enhancing the border trade between our countries. The third issue is it's about how to do that. And the fourth one is what is the major challenges. So it's allocated by my way. But I think that it's talking about the border trade. It's important when you are talking about the 2 countries' trade relation. But talking as a region, it's border trade or enhancing the border trade. It's the part of connectivity between our countries. So I think that we are talking about 3 issues as a general. About first one, as a member of many different mechanisms existing in the regions, you have different plans for connectivity. And most of them, firstly, put a priority for the connectivity in the transportation. And the result of that, During last years, we have built a set of roads connecting our countries and in the other countries in ASEAN and our partners, China, India, then Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Korea. The task for us is how to take that as an advantage for us and find the innovations for us to make it more valuable for us in our development process. I think that for that, there are something to do. Firstly, take all that work done as existing, don't done anymore for that. For example, don't build more roads to connecting us. Don't put more money for real roads, because it was on the way already. For us, I think that innovative way, it's, how I feel it's innovative way, it's to find some common for us in our developing process, common in our civilizations. The second thing is to use a new technology which will help us connect each other. And the third one is to work together to do that. What is common you need to find? I think it's common, firstly, common you need to find the product which benefit all our countries. Not all product, you cannot do all. You just find 1, 2, 3, some particular product which you can do together for and benefit all of us. In short term, in medium term, in long term. For example, you are rich in agricultural product. Maybe agricultural product processing, it's common for us. Or for our industrialization, you have Thailand as already quite developed in automotive industry. Maybe it's a point for us to do together. For example, the second thing is when you locate that product for us to do, it's work out a common institutions, common rules, common all commons for us to do. It's better if you do that from the scratch, because you don't need, as you're doing now, it's try to conform with each others. And when more members, it's not easy to conform that. It is a long process and a very painful process for us. And the third one you need to do is to allocate that among us, because you cannot do 5 countries do the same things. You have common target, you have common product, you have common institution, you allocate work among us to have much benefit from that. Of course, that benefit will change from time to time, but you should do that. So, shortly talking about that, I think that there are 2 pillars for us to think about. Firstly, locate the common priorities for us. Common product, common institution, common plan for working, common the technology to work out on. The second thing is start anything together from scratch, building the policy, developing policy, building the management policy related to that, building the common plan for development. And the third pillar is to allocate the work among us. And talking about that, because it's common, it's always, I think there are a lot of threat, a lot of difficulties. But most of them, I think that you should overcome if you want to reach our target. It's have talked my General Prayut Chan-o-cha this morning. I hear carefully about his speech He come again and again by different way. It's to what? It's to you, we, each of us, should sacrifice something for our common benefit. Without sacrifice, you cannot work together. Without sacrifice, you cannot reach benefit together. Without pain, you cannot gain. That is most important challenge you need to overcome. Thank you.
Thank you. I think you propose, you need innovative ways of solving the problem. And I think it's important that you use new technology and also to work together. And I think your idea is, I think you put a lot of emphasis on harmonization of all of the products and also of the institutions, basically meaning that you think that it's important that we work together. But in working together, you first have to identify common interests and common products. And your idea of common products are agriculture, for example, processing, which is Thailand, I think is well developed in that area, and also automotive. And in terms of common rules, I think you are looking for harmonization of rules and regulations across the LMBT, which will do a lot to save time, and also duplication of procedures, and also to allocate different tasks among different members so we don't duplicate the work. So I think these are very interesting ideas. And I think the final thing is, if we want to work together as a region, it's not what I get, but what the region gets as a whole, and there needs to be sacrifice. And you gain some, you lose some, but as a whole, we win. Okay, so I think that's a very important message. Now I come to the last speaker, is Her Excellency Mrs. Apiradi Tantraporn, Minister of Commerce, Thailand. The floor is yours, ma'am.
I thank you very much, and Chan Den for directing the roundtable this afternoon in a very, very productive way. I congratulate you on this, and I thank the speakers before me who has thrown in many, many ideas on how the 5 countries can work together. I think as an organizer for this forum, I'm very happy that actually I can say that it is a successful event already, because I can hear 5 countries, the private sector and the public sector, the government sector, sit down together and talk on how 5 countries can work together. I'm very happy with that, and I agree with Mr. Nguyen Kam Chu when he talked about our cooperation, no pain, no gain. So I think that every country will have to bear with the pain for the gain that we all will achieve. I think that you start the session very well by having the private sector introduce what are their feelings and how we should guide ourselves to gain on trade, investment, and prosperity for the region. I think that you gave me a few thoughts which I would like to share with me. First, I think that to expand trade or investment or even tourism, which I think the next door is discussed in full detail. I think that the most important thing is informations. I think you talk about the informations on trade, investment, on barriers, on measures or legislations. So I think that maybe we can have an initiative to create something like we call a knowledge tank, CLMVT knowledge tank, which each of us has information about ourselves. We have some information about Laos, Cambodia, Myanmar, and Vietnam. The private sector has information in their doing business. Government has information on the regulations, rules, and figures on the opportunity or whatever. If we can put that in the same tank, we share it by using ICT information. I think that this will help the SME or new business like Kun Chanit, maybe you have somebody who wants to invest in Cambodia, and they don't have any information aside from what they have been doing in Thailand. They can search for first-hand information, and I think that this will help us to stir up the interest of the SMEs or the business people. And I think the knowledge from the business themselves, if they can chip in their experience, how they do business in Cambodia, the Thai who has been doing business in Cambodia, their problems or their opportunities, I think this will help other Thai business or even the Lao business to learn information. This is just a thought, and I think that it could be taken along. I like very much the idea of the troubleshooter, and I think that for us as government officials who has been negotiating the NTBs or other measures of facilitation, Minister Chombasit also can say he has been in the negotiation for a long time. Sometimes when we negotiate on table, you are thinking only of us. We are not thinking of the business people who need to cross the border. So I think that troubleshooting should be very good, and I think that it can help the government also to see the core of the issues, that sometimes allowing more trade or reducing the barrier will actually benefit ourselves, not only our trading partners, but I think because now we have no, the globalization, we do not have borderline anymore, as the Prime Minister said this morning. We should be able to work together for our business people. So the troubleshooter as ad hoc should be something that we can pick up and start working using the business council as a platform. I think the Mekong business platform for SME, I cannot remember who raised this, but which is already in existence. So maybe we can take up from that and set up an ad hoc group under that business council to start looking at the cross-border trade problems. And as Kun Chanit said that he is in the Thai-Cambodia Business Council, and but I think there are other business council. Can we just have the joint business council of the 5 countries? You work together at the business level, but I don't like the format like at every ASEAN summit. There will be an ASEAN Business Council sit down like this, and they repeat the problems to the leaders. I remember 9 out of 10 problems are the same old problems we keep hearing from our business people year after years. Minister Chombasit can share his view on this. I think if we have a business forum like this with the troubleshooter ad hoc group, maybe the leaders will not have to listen to the same old problems that the ASEAN Business Council will bring up to them. And on the SME financing, I think Kun Chasuri and Kun Chanit has already mentioned on how we can work together on this. One more thing on agriculture, which I think the 5 countries are agriculture countries. We are major producing in many products, for example, on rice. You say how we can cooperate on this. Thailand has experience on GI products. We have more than 10 products of GI registered domestically and 2 products registered in the European community. But GI is not only registering. We can share our experience with you on how to register GI, but monitoring the GI or protecting your GI is more difficult. And we are also in the learning process. So I think this is something that we can cooperate. And other area of cooperation on agriculture, I think Thailand and Vietnam has a very good experience. Our rice exporters associations is working together on the situation of rice production, and we coordinate. Actually, at the moment, the Thai rice exporters and Vietnam rice exporters association are meeting somewhere in Vietnam. So I think this is something that we can expand in other products also, and that is that, of course, we are competing in the world market, but at a certain level, we can coordinate how our production, the quality, on how to improve. And I think one important thing that we can work on agriculture is like what Dr. Denden just mentioned, because now the consumers around the world, they are working on the from farm to fork. So it is very important that we work together on these SPS regulations, on the traceability of products, which will become more important. So I think this is another area that we can work together. At the lunch, we listened to Ambassador Hiro on the automotive in particular, which Thailand is very well established, and we are willing to extend our cooperation, our training or HRD, training for workers in the automotive industry, or in other areas like in agriculture. We are also willing to work with your producers, or in I think we discussed last night at the dinner on the handicraft products, where Thailand we has OTOP, or one Tambon. Tambon is a village, one product. I think in Cambodia you also have the same projects. So our products are now, we are now developing them, and we are trying to put them at the export markets, trying to export. So we have to improve on the quality, on design, the user marketing strategy. So all these things are something that we can work together, not only on the like automotive, which we are under the same production chain, but other product that just developed in our own land in 5 countries. So I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. I think you've mentioned a few very important ones. And first, I think you put a lot of emphasis on information sharing. And we think this is very important that we start with sharing information. Both the private and the government already have a body of knowledge and body of information collected, but they are not pooled together. They're all in different places, so it's very hard to identify. So we should begin with the information knowledge tank, as you mentioned, is that private sector would share all the, I would say, the hands-on problems that they face when doing business, whereas the government will share the rules and regulations concerned. And the second one, as she supports the troubleshooting unit as something that can really help facilitating private business. And she proposed that perhaps that this unit can be initiated under the Mekong Business Council, which will be an appropriate body that can probably host this organization. And I think they believe that there is a lot of unleashed potentials of trade between our 5 countries, but it's not yet being properly harnessed by a lot of barriers. And the third is that Her Excellency believes that there are many ways in which we can avoid a lot of problems, and she disagrees with getting together and at the minister's level and hearing problems but nothing being solved. A lot of problems should be solved systematically rather than problems being raised at the highest level, but it doesn't get solved that way. So problems should be addressed systematically, so such as having the troubleshooting unit can get rid of all the problems, that it doesn't need to go to the ministerial level. And the fourth issue is that Thailand, she says that Thailand has a lot to share about GI, not only about how to register GI, but also how to protect GI. And I think this is GI. I guess GI is important because it affects a lot of SMEs in small scale rather than large scale because it's community owned, not individually owned. So this is a very important issue. And another issue of importance is the traceability, which is also very challenging for all of us in being able to comply with that requirement from our importer countries. And finally, she offers that Thailand has a lot of products, knowledge about products that we can share, not only automobile or agriculture, but also such as handicraft, because we have the One Village, One Product program, which has been very successful, and we have a lot of experience about how to build up small brands from local community into an export potentials. So, wow, I thank all of you. We're very punctual. We have five minutes left before the end of this session. I would like to ask whether any of Minister, would you like to comment? No? I'm sure you have a lot to say. Okay, he said, oh yes, please, His Excellency Sorsa.
Thank you. Thank you to give me the floor. Hello? I'm here. Hello? Anyway, I just want to emphasize the single windows. That's where you have information sharing. Just want to emphasize the single windows mechanisms. If you can implement it properly, you can have all these information sharing through that. Right now, single windows, we have up to national single windows, but we need to build up to ASEAN, which is our ultimate objective, to have ASEAN single windows. But what I was saying, that step by step, we should move from one national single windows to CLMVT single windows, then you can move to ASEAN single windows. They all harmonize. I'm not saying that you have to have a unique, separate, whatever standard. But through this information, through these systems, you can have all kinds of informations through these information sharing, because that's the channel that you are working to standardize your channel of sharing, your sharing channel. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel, really. What we have is, we already have it laid out, but we just need to implement it. There's so many things about GI. Also, Cambodia is really keen on developing GIs, but the main thing is we need to have expertise to develop each one of them. It took us, 2 GIs took us several years, and it cost a lot of money. I would say $1 million per GI research, US, yeah. So, but now we can see the fruits. We can see the results, good results. Our Cambodian peppers, Kampot peppers, fetch 1 kilo is 300 euros in the EU market. So a lot of that's why it attracts more attentions on GIs. But we are working on that, and we have several about 10 items to be researched for the GIs. I just want to make sure, because this is very important for us, for the information sharing for all of us. Without information sharing, I agree with Excellency Minister, but we need to implement it. We need to work on what we have as already laid out the ground. Thank you.
So it would appear that you agree that our focus or prioritization, shall I say, would be on, first step would be on sharing of information, and that will lead to many other things that we like to, such as harmonization of our rules and regulation, but we need to pass the first step, that we need to share the information first. And I think it's very important that you mentioned that CLMVT would maybe the first step. ASEAN is 10 countries, so we can start testing it with 5 countries. It will be less complicated, and if we can success at the 5 countries, then we can hope to build bigger and expand the project into 10 countries. So it's a stepping stone for ASEAN harmonization. Thank you. Any other panelists would like to share? Yes, please, His Excellency.
I think I want to try to find a way to connect all together the idea of Thai ministers about information, common information, the idea of Minister Pansonachak about one window body, and enhance effectiveness of our connectivity. I think that maybe what is the most difficulties in doing that, all that process is our information platform. Because each of us, as different countries, we have different platform to do that. And coming together is not easy. Maybe it's very for us to start from the from common information platform, which will deal with sharing information, which deal with checking the goods alongside all our the transportation corridors, and at the same time doing the formalities in the border checking point. And I think it's valuable to first think about that. Thank you.
Yes, I think I agree with you. When you say information, it's many things. What is it? I think, like you said, we have to be clear what kind of information and what is information, how it's collected.
First, you start by some priority goods, some priorities, and then in the experience of gaining from that, you want to widening it step by step, because you cannot do all at the
all
same time.
All information, because it's very large, very concrete suggestion. I guess we complete our time, so I'd like to thank all the panelists. It's an honor. And I would like to I think we all should give a round of applause for all of our very, very interesting speakers. And I think we have break. I would like to pass the mic back on to
yes,
the
Dr. Denden, thank you
organizer.
very much. We thank to our ministers, both from CLMV and also our Thai Minister of Commerce, for sharing your views, and what an insightful discussion that was. We'll now take a short break for 15 minutes. Coffee and tea and other refreshments are served right outside. So we'll come back after 15 minutes at 3:45 p.m. for the next session, ladies and gentlemen, which is on enhancing the strengths and joining the global value chain, still to be moderated by Dr. Denden. So for now, please enjoy the break. See you in a bit.
Second session today. I'll be your moderator once again for another session. In this session, the issue will be discussed is the CLMVT opportunities in investment, enhancing our strengths and joining the global value chain. In the last session, we already discussed about our trade opportunities, so now we turn to investment. And what would we like to achieve from this session? Again, we want to identify several things. One is we want to find how can we further harness our links in the global value chain. As you have heard in the previous session, there has been a lot of mentioning about building regional supply chain. So now in this session, we want to address that question again, is how can we harness our links in the global value chain? And the second question is, what do you see as the untapped opportunities in investment in the CLMVT? And are there any obstacles that should be addressed regarding investment barriers? So similar to like last session, that was trade barriers, but now we want to address investment barriers. And the third question that I would like to ask the panelists is, how could intra-regional investment be encouraged that would make it mutually beneficial for the host and the investing countries? And how can the SMEs, businesses, be supported to invest more? So these are the questions that I would like to address the panelists. Again, in this session, we have 8 panelists consisting of 5 ministers and 3 private sectors. But this time, I would like to begin first with the ministers. I would begin with the 2 presenters who have PowerPoint presentation first. And I would like to start by inviting His Excellency Mr. Chom Prasit. He's Senior Minister of Industry and Handicrafts from Cambodia to present. Thank you. The floor is yours.